Cowboys fans, I'm Marcus Aurelius Maximus, the Emperor, your host. So let's get started. Don't do the commercials, but wait a second, before we do, I just want to say go to viewfromthebench.com for your sporting commentary, your place to talk about sports, your place for sporting news. Go to viewfromthebench.com. And if you want Dallas Cowboys discussion, go to DallasCowboysChat.com, run by one of the bloggers, The Click. Cowboys dude, go there and talk about the Dallas Cowboys. But yeah, that's what I'm dealing with. And another thing that I'm dealing with is this is the big show after the emotional meltdown that I had on Cowboys Imperial postgame, where now it seems as though my channel is going to slope into that with the blonde chick that was crying over the sprinklers going off in the dorms. So, but that's how it is. It's so frustrating because here I've tried to present Dallas Cowboys talk in an objective, sometimes emotional manner, mostly the media's or those who buy the media's lies. And so I've tried to make this a reasoned show. And then I blow up like I did on the last show, and then that gets the most views of any video that I've ever made. There it is. Anyway, to try to get things back to the objective, rational, coherent talk that we're accustomed to hearing on Cowboys Imperial Report, I would say divinely, others would say serendipitously, inwittenitrust from TrueBlueFanClub.com is my interview on Dallas Cowboys Imperial Report. He joins us now. Hey, inwittenitrust, how are you doing? How are you doing after this horrendous loss to the New York Giants?
Well, this was a pretty tough loss for me, especially against the division opponent. But just like us players, we got to look ahead to next week.
Hey, let me ask you this: are fans overreacting to this loss? What do you think?
I think most fans are overreacting. I think you got to realize we're 1-1. If we're 0-2, I can understand the overreaction. Most 0-2 teams don't make the playoffs, but we're 1-1, and even after this last loss. Now, this was a divisional loss versus a very tough team. If you ask most analysts, they're going to say that the Giants are probably going to go to Super Bowl and represent the NFC. And so, they're a really great team. But the fact that we had 4 turnovers, handed them on a silver platter 24 of their points, and the fact that we were still in that game until the very, very end of it, that has to say something for our team. We made them punt 5 times, and a lot of people aren't realizing the fact that every time they had the ball, they didn't necessarily score. We were able to run 250 yards on probably the best defensive line in the entire league. So there's a lot of really good points and a lot of good things that came out of this game. There's still 14 games to go in this season. We're not even near being done.
All right, here's a question some people are going to want to know. Can Romo bounce back from this?
Well, of course he can. Everybody's going to have bad games. He's human. Troy Aikman, Peyton Manning, Dan Marino, they all had bad games. Not everyone is perfect when they play. It's a very hard position, but I think just like every other time, he's going to turn this around. Carolina, they're not the Giants. They have a very different team and a very different scheme. They're not used to playing us. The Giants know a lot more about us and a lot more of our tendencies than the Panthers do. So I think we're going to have a lot more success there, especially with the Panthers. They've been watching our film for the last 2 weeks, and they've realized if they put 8 in the box and try and stop that run, Roma's going to throw for 350 yards all day long. If they put their safeties way back and try and stop Roma and just try to pin their ears back, and boy, our running backs are going to have a heyday. We had 250 yards last week, and there's no reason why we can't do that again. And then you got to realize that Roma has a great supporting cast. This O-line is gigantic. Not only have they kept Romo's jersey clean, all except for one loose cornerback blitz, but they've been opening huge holes for our running backs. We have some of the greatest running backs in the entire league.
How do you feel about this defense?
I'm just as frustrated as everybody else. Mostly it's the lack of turnovers. I think we're the only team in the entire league that has 0 turnovers so far. We don't have any forced fumbles. We don't have any interceptions. We don't even have any sacks right now. And I think that's actually making us look worse than what we are. We're a very defense, we were 8th in the league last year for a very good reason. We have a pressure defense that gets to the quarterback. I think right now we're having some issues getting to the quarterback, having some issues taking off the balls, just like we were last year. But we're going to turn it around. Going up against the Giants, I think our front seven was mostly trying to stop Brandon Jacobs from just gouging us for 200 yards like he's done to so many other teams. And so I think a lot of the blame needs to fall on the cornerbacks and the safeties for not covering. You know, a normal pass rush is going to take 3, possibly 4 seconds to get to the quarterback on average. And if the corners are letting their receivers go within 2 seconds, well, you know, you're not going to hit the quarterback at all. And if there's no pressure on the quarterback, there's not going to be any turnovers.
All right, what's your prediction?
I predict that this is probably going to be a shootout if our defense doesn't pick it up. So I'm going to say 35-27 Cowboys. We're going to be able to get into that red zone just like we did last week and score every time. They'll score a couple touchdowns, and we'll be able to limit them to a few field goals. But I also want to predict that we're going to get our first sack and our first interception of the year. And after this, it's going to come in bunches.
In Wit and I Trust, thank you for being on Cowboys Imperial Report.
Thanks.
All right, that was nice to hear from In Wit and I Trust. Now let's get to the portion of the show where we strengthen and reinforce our confidence in this man right here. Well, how are we going to do that? Well, we're going to look at some of the greatest quarterbacks in history and those who have donned the Dallas Cowboys uniform and have done very well indeed. Yes, we're going to look at some of the Cowboys greats and see what kind of games they've had, you know, where they've thrown 3 interceptions or had 3 turnovers or whatever. All right, now who's this next one here? Who's this guy? This pretty boy. This number one, $11 million rookie. Never heard of it. Never heard of such a thing in the history of my life. Tony Dorsett didn't even get that money. Why, when Roger Staubach was a rookie, he served his country, by gosh. And this guy, what did he do? Pretty boy from California. Huh? And what did he do? Nothing. You want to know what he did after this performance in the offseason? You want to know what he did after this performance in the offseason? He went and appeared on Oprah! Oprah! As part of like a celebrity dating game thing. Utterly unbelievable. And you just roll it here. Roll the clips.
He was intercepted once. It led to a touchdown. Aikman back, right side, picked off. And here we go. Aikman intercepted by George Jameson.
The field goal earlier, and now he comes up with the fumble recovery as he just out-muscles Aikman, beats him to the ball. Aikman just drops this ball, comes up a little bit short.
Troy Aikman did that? No. It's a complete and utter fiction. No, it's true. The very same people who are getting down on Romo, and I probably would have yelled at Aikman's jersey too, but the very same people who are getting down on Romo, and you know who you are, whether you type or whether you show your face on a video, would have gotten down on Troy Aikman in the 1992 offseason. I guarantee it. That's why it is necessary that we disregard the calamitous things that have happened, the games that he has personally lost for us. I still have confidence in you. But please, don't let us down. Because I'm either going to need a heart transplant or a liver transplant by the time this season's over. And that's it. That's all I have. So, what's my prediction? I don't know. I haven't really been thinking about the Panthers this week. I've still been thinking about the Giants. So, I'll make something up on the spot. 24-20 Cowboys. There you go. The Cowboys over the Panthers. So, there it is. God save the Cowboys. See you on Monday night for Cowboys Imperial postgame.